This meeting is being recorded.
Mr. Mayor, just one thing, may I remind the council that they have to talk into their microphones, because the last meeting, if they don't talk into their microphones, they're not going to be heard. There were a couple of important council people that were not heard because they did not talk into their microphones. Okay, with this new system, you have to talk into your microphone.
Okay. This one? This is yours? Maybe? This one yours?
No, this is
This
yours.
one mine.
Somebody else on the agenda. No?
Do I have here?
I have one. So
You want to put that here?
give my agenda to somebody else. I have a separate agenda. No, I normally have a normal one for me that I, yeah, basically.
Maybe it's this.
No, no, it has all the votes on it. You don't have it, right? Just check outside.
Or I don't have the one to vote. I have a regular one.
No, you can have the votes on it.
Oh, yes. Where is the?
Laura? Laura, there's a resident looking for the link. Is it posted?
It's on the website.
It's on the, is it on the red banner or where is it?
On the calendar.
On the calendar, okay.
Okay, I don't have my agenda. No, I can do it. I just don't have all of the votes. Because I have to take all of the votes. And so I don't know why. No. Maybe this is it. Ah, found it. Awesome.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the English Cliffs Mayor and Council meeting. Today is February 21st, 2024. It's the time around what time?
6:05.
6:05. I call this meeting to order.
Matt, could you turn the mayor's microphone on?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Please all stand for the flag salute. This time, I'd like to take a moment of silence for retired police captain Daniel Morrissey. He passed away January 24th. He has served for almost 25 years of our town safety. To honor his service, let's take a moment of silence all together. Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Boch, could you have a roll call, please?
Mayor Park,
Yes, here.
Member Kim,
Here.
Member Simon,
Here.
Member Luciano, Member Di Gregorio,
Here.
Member Begats,
Yes.
Member Liang,
Here.
Tony Mensch.
Here. Okay, thank you. Also, I'm going to make record here. Last month,
Just read the
you want
statement of compliance.
after that.
Let's do- yeah.
Okay, you go ahead.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, PL 1975, Chapter 231, setting forth the time, date, and place and purpose of this public meeting through a legal notice published in the record, posted on the bulletin board and on the borough website.
Okay, thank you. I want to confirm about it. Last month I mentioned about I'm going to do the mayor's New Year address, but today we have a lot of agenda. Someone going to come here and we have to pass a lot of resolution. I'm going to skip it. I'm going to send out with the email and the mayor. So please understand this one.
Mr. Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes.
I'd like to suspend the order of this meeting and request to make a motion to go into closed session immediately. And that is unless you have anything you want to take care of before.
That you wanted about it in the beginning, you wanted to do that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, okay, I will take it. And
I'll
and
second.
Okay. I'm sorry about it. We're gonna to discuss about here, the special agenda here. So we're gonna to take a closed session right away.
Yes.
And then maybe that is, okay, okay, and I'm gonna explain, I'm gonna take
Can I
pause.
ask why?
We're gonna listen to the professional in advance, and then we're gonna make decision. Okay. So can I
Can
make?
you say that one more time, please?
Yeah.
Why are we suspending and going to close? I think we have professionals that have the agenda that we're saying that we're going. Aren't here. And I'm just sort of curious on, how long approximately it would be so that the public can have an idea of how long we're going to be in closed session.
I think,
Okay, go ahead.
I think for efficiency, we need to go for efficiency and to look after the borough's finances and our financial expenditures. It would be prudent to go into closed session immediately.
So this is to look at financial.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's for litigation, it's for the purpose of
Litigation. Okay.
What is your okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's take.
I think the finances are, you're paying attorneys to sit, so that's I think that's the comment.
Thank you for translating,
I,
Mr. Mitch.
I would anticipate 30 minutes or less.
Great. I think so.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Okay, roll call, please.
Member Kim?
No.
Member Simon?
No.
Member Luciano?
No.
Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Yes.
Member Liang?
Yes.
Mayor Tatai?
Yes.
Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Why is it so loud?
On the table is a flag that the newly elected officials received from Congressman Gottheimer, who sent it graciously. These are flags that were flown over the U.S. Capitol. And so I wanted to acknowledge him in that to us. And utilized here in
Okay, thank you.
The next item is that in January I was newly appointed and didn't feel it was appropriate to speak at that time, but several council members asked me to correct a few things. And so I wanted to do that at this first opportunity. I've been in public life since 1997. I have a combined 21 years of experience in New York and New Jersey government in both municipal and county government. On the municipal side, my smallest budget was $11 million and my largest was $41 million. At my previous position in the last 5 years, I added $5 million to the reserve fund, going from 13 million to 18 million. In the last audit presentation, my staff and I were praised for coming in $3.7 million under budget and exceeding revenue expectations by $2.8 million. I just want to make it clear that I'm here for the best of the community and to serve council as best I can. I also want to make it clear that I am not participating in the borough's employee health plan, as I do have health insurance through my pension at the state of New York. Item number 2, we are making outstanding progress with our department heads on the budget each and every day. And we have scheduled our first finance committee meeting this week and plan to be on track as scheduled based on the presentation from interim Administrator Rath a couple of weeks ago. As many of you are aware, we've been working on very imminent issues regarding the US EPA Administrative Consent Order. Several items have been completed thanks to Superintendent Neville, but we still have many, many months ahead of us. So tonight on the agenda, staff asked for your consideration regarding the Neglia proposal to assist us with the Stormwater Pollution Prevention Plan and the Municipal Stormwater Management Plan. I'll report on that progress every month. The New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection Notice of Violation has been addressed with the final portion, which is to pay an $885 permit. We will make that payment later this week. The staff has been diligently working on completing all the items. And before the next meeting, I will have a session with the DEP to negotiate down the fine, which is substantial. And I'll have more information for everyone at the next meeting. Town website migration, sorry. Our plan is to have a current part-time employee involved in the management of the website, which includes updates and much more frequent outreach. We want to thank Councilman DiGregorio for leading us in the mitigation process. Regarding the new DPW contract, we met with the union several weeks ago. There are some outstanding issues that the union is not happy with, and so we are actively resolving that within the negotiating team, and our new borough labor attorney is Matt Jacoby. CDBG grants, we're seeking reimbursement with our CFO for the completed COVID-19 touchless improvement, and we were informed, unfortunately, by the county that they will not fund the parking improvement project due to the space and the location that was submitted in the plan. Mayor, that's all I have for my report.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what about the next? You have any question?
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Okay, go ahead.
She mentioned, Mr. Riverio, something about the DPW contract, which I was a little concerned about, since I thought we approved the DPW contract last year.
I think
The
you should
mayor
be
signed
concerned.
off on it.
I think you should be concerned about it.
Well, can you fill us in?
I
Because,
can't because it's contract, but I will be able to do that at the next meeting, once we
well, wait,
meet.
so last year we approved the DPW contract, is that right?
Yeah.
As far as you know?
As far as I know.
And the contract was signed by the union. What, was it or not? I mean,
It was not.
had the mayor sign it then before the union?
I wasn't here. They came to
Are
us.
you
with this-
investigating this right now? I know you weren't here. You're our administrator now.
I am
With all due
investigating
respect,
it.
I'm trying to figure out.
I'm trying to get to the bottom of it and trying to figure out all the details. And right now, it's probably not appropriate that I speak here in public about.
Okay, I understand that.
Okay,
Laura, did
then,
we not approve the DPW contract as
Yes,
a
we did.
resolution last year?
We did.
We did. Okay, I just wanted to be sure. Because I don't understand how, once again, this is something else that's come to the council. We've approved it. And now all of a sudden we're hearing 4 months later that there's an issue. I have serious concerns about this because now all of a sudden, I don't understand how the DPW contract is even still open. But that's a different issue.
I have concerns as well.
The second issue that I have, I know last month I raised the issue about the hiring of Mr. Riverio and also keeping on Mr. Ratz. And the rebuttal was, we're hiring them both because one was gonna work one day and when one wasn't here, the other person was gonna be working. And I'd like to ask the mayor, because that seemed like, you're trying to reason, I was pointing out the impact of what it would be to have two administrators. I guess a two-part question. My first part is naturally Mr. Riverio just even expressed his professionalism and why do we need two administrators? Let me finish this. Why did we hire two administrators at almost $400,000 combined? And the rebuttal was that they were only going to be here one day or the other, and out of 2/3 of January's 12,000 20-something, it was $19,000 that we paid between the two administrators, $19,880. 2/3 of those, both Mr. Rath and Mr. Barbario were here together. So you told us one thing last month, try to minimize the impact on the taxpayers, that I was trying to impress on everybody that, why are we hiring? Mr. Barbario just even said, he's a professional. Why did you hire two? And the response was that when Mr. Barbario was going to be here part-time, the other administrator would be here to fill in. And now we have a bill here that shows, maybe if you can explain that to us and the public, because $19,000 in January for two administrators.
As far as I understand here, maybe we are in a transition period, so that's why Jerry not gonna charge you full-time wage here. I don't know, Jerry, this is true statement?
No, it's incorrect.
Would you tell me?
January is only 13 and a half hours, of which 4.5 hours was the presentation that we had here.
Yeah.
This from our CFO,
I did,
okay?
I have it as well.
On the 4th, on the 5th, on the 8th, on the 9th, on the 11th, on the 16th, on the 17th, on the 18th, on the 23rd, on the 25th, on the 31st. There's all indications here
Almost
that
every
you both, on every one, I have your time sheets as well. So what is incorrect? That's what, correct me, I want to be corrected. So what am, you
It's
just
13
made
and
a
a
statement
half
that I don't even understand, but
It's 13 and a half hours in the month of January that we overlapped.
I'm not talking, this, once again, I don't care if it's 3 hours in one day.
Out of Chris's
On
hours,
these days that I just read off,
you know
you
that I
and
leave,
Chris are both here at the same exact time.
and you know that I leave at 12:30 on those days as well. There are days that I leave at 12:30.
So you're
My
saying
time
that
sheet
on these
reflects
days, on the overlap, you were here till 12:30, and then Chris came after that?
Correct. And there was only
Okay, so when
13,
he puts down 4.5 hours, update with Jerry, police locker room bids, that wasn't, you guys weren't together?
no, we weren't together.
Well, why would it say update with Jerry? Police locker room bid, next day on the 11th, update with Jerry. Is that a phone comment? I wanna understand, so I don't have to go through this
So
again, because
we
it drives me
overlap,
crazy.
we overlap normally an hour, a half hour to an hour when we transition out,
Okay.
so that we can overlap and discuss the project that we're working on. We're working on multiple projects at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, if you actually working together, I think we have to pay to you. So that is
No,
another
Larry,
huge amount.
If you don't think about it, if they're here working together, we have to pay
Uh,
them both. I'm not questioning about paying them both. I'm questioning the fact that I was told last month that one was gonna work one day, and for coverage, we're hiring two different people so that there's not an absence of a borough administrator in the borough hall. That's what I'm told, not that they're both here today and we gotta pay them both naturally, so that doesn't make any sense to me, but.
When Chris comes in, we discuss things for a half hour or an hour, and then I go.
May I,
And I'm not here on Mondays, and he's not here on Wednesdays, and he's not here on.
I hear you.
may I interject just for 1 second? I believe, based on the emails, it's very simple that I think Chris was delegated certain responsibilities and Jerry had other responsibilities, and they were both working simultaneously. And it really doesn't matter to me if they were working on at the same time. They were getting things done for the borough, either simultaneously for the few hours that they worked together, or were communicating for those few hours they worked together. So I don't see an issue in it whatsoever. I think that we're very fortunate to have both. If you combine their professional experience together, I would imagine their years would be probably very high. So I would question your questioning the fact that they did work together for a limited amount of time. It's if you're doing a relay race you have to have a certain amount of time to hand off to somebody else. I think it's really plain to see, and I'm very surprised that you're questioning this, and I don't know what your motive for questioning it is. So,
Mr. Mayor, I need.
Okay, let's move on.
I need to be able to reply since that was referred to me. And the question is, David, is that when I asked the question last month, I was given one answer. And naturally, I wouldn't think that you would have a problem with it because you're the one leading this charge. But the problem that I have is when you ask a question and you're told one thing, if you think you're running a 100-yard dash with 4 people versus now you're running a relay race, as you want to equate it to, we weren't told it was a relay race. We were told that it was one person one day, one person another, and when I see overlap like this, when I was told last month that
There's not overlap.
so that's my motivation as I think all of us should be motivated to say, well, we had a $95,000 administrator, and now we have the potential of paying $400,000. I think every one of us should have a question on where that money is going.
Mr. Mayor, I think that Mr. Raths wanted to be, said something. Maybe he could say something regarding this now also.
Who?
He's online.
Oh,
It's
okay.
online.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Chris, can you hear me? There you go.
Chris?
So
You,
very quickly, I appreciate your time. Jerry, I appreciate. Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Very good.
No, not that better.
Go ahead.
He's
Tell
he's muting himself.
very clearly. I can
Chris, you
hear
keep muting yourself.
You muted.
You're muted.
You need to, there we go.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Sorry. So Jerry and I have not been overlapping in any way whatsoever. We originally sent out emails with our days and our times, and we've been doing that. So I come in usually in the afternoons and all day Monday. Jerry's not in attendance on Monday. He's usually there from 12 to 12:30 when I'm there, and we go over the significant items of the day. And then I'm there Thursday afternoon as well, too. So we're not overlapping. I was not privy to the documents that you were provided, council member. I'd like to get a copy of those so that I can confirm that it's accurate. And then secondly is this is all, you're actually, my last day, as I told Jerry earlier, is going to be Monday. It was originally supposed to be the end of March was the offer. That said, you're actually, because Jerry is going to be there earlier, you're saving my expense. So I just want to bring that to the table as well too. I'm sorry that this came up in the session as it did tonight. I would have loved to address this in advance had I known this was going to be an item.
Well, Mr. Ratz, with all due respect, we were told that we're not having any communication between any meetings, and our communications will be limited to the public meetings. So if we're not going to communicate amongst ourselves, the only time I have the option of raising any questions is at a public meeting, so I apologize.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Let's move on.
Good.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. And then Chief? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Before I get started, I'd like to follow up on something the mayor mentioned earlier. I'd like to recognize the passing of Captain Morrissey and thank all of you who reached out to me, expressed kind words. Some of you took time out of your day to attend the wake, the funeral services, and it's very much appreciated by myself and the police department and the Morrissey family. So to all of you, thank you for your kind gestures during that very difficult time for us.
Thank you.
It's been a while since I've seen you at our last meeting, so I have quite a lengthy report. Please forgive me. Since our last get together, we did have a couple burglaries in town, 2 to be exact, and 1 vehicle theft. Since that was early to mid-January. Since then, it's quieted down, very fortunately. So I'd also like to note that on January 14th, we arrested three juvenile actors who were driving around town in a stolen car. They were from the Bronx. My suspicion is that they were in town to steal more cars. I have to give kudos to one of my younger officers, Officer Cora, who spotted this vehicle at about 3:30 in the morning, driving our back streets. Turned it into a foot chase, but we ended up apprehending all three of them. And I'd also like to thank and recognize publicly the Englewood Police Department, Fort Lee Police Department, Palisades Interstate Parkway Police Department, and Bergen County Sheriff's Department, who all assisted us in the apprehension of those three actors. As a follow-up to that, I'd like to report on we will be receiving 2 automatic license plate readers by a grant that we applied for in 2022 to supplement the 2 that we will be receiving by grant. I have asked for additional units in my capital request this year. I hope that will be granted. A couple traffic issues. We did have a parking complaint on Bayview Avenue. I assigned one of my officers to review that reported problem. A report was forwarded to Administrator Barbario. We discussed with the DPW, and that issue has subsequently been resolved and to the satisfaction of the resident. And I think we created a slightly safer environment. The parking issues on Clifton Terrace and Floyd Street continue to require our attention. As time permits, we do give it our attention, and I'm happy to report since just the beginning of this year, 11 summonses have already been issued on those streets. So it is something we continue to monitor, and it's something we continue to receive complaints on. Councilman Di Gregorio, the electronic speed signs that you suggested early last year that I ended up having funding for at the end of my 2022 budget. Both have been delivered and deployed. There's one on Dillingham currently and one on Irving Avenue currently. And those are able to be moved around town as I direct. So
Great.
Just we'll put a couple posts around town, and then the mounted signs can be relocated as needed. So
I hope they're useful.
they are, yeah.
Chief, did I record that? Steve?
Yep. So if you guys remember, a few months back, we did a traffic study in the area of Irving and Summit because of a complaint.
Yes.
That was actual man hours sitting there recording that.
Now you can.
We can use these devices to do the research for us.
Good.
Chief, don't you think you get a more accurate reading when there's not a policeman sitting there taking radar?
Probably.
There you go, thank you.
So the road work in town continues. It is a little chaotic. There's a lot of crews in town. The good news is the gas main work will be done in the next 2 to 3 weeks in the north end. So a lot of the big machinery that has been obstructing traffic will be out of town in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Because the mains will be laid. After that, it'll just be services to the residents, which require much smaller equipment. We did have a couple issues with the Kramer crews. Administrator Barbario, myself, and Mark met with the crews. We expressed our concerns over the way they were doing business, and I think since that meeting last week, a lot of it has been corrected. So. I did receive a letter from the Grand Fondo bike race. I forwarded that letter to Administrator Barbario. I believe the mayor also received that letter. That bike race is scheduled for May 19th this year. A couple community outreach events. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm happy to report we'll be hosting Girl Scout Troop 98826. They're going to come for a tour of headquarters. We're going to do some safety tips with them. So we're happy to have the Girl Scouts as our guests tomorrow. Hopefully they allow us to take some pictures and we'll do some nice Facebook posts with the girls tomorrow. Also, the police department will once again be participating in Read Across America this year. On March 6th, we'll be at grammar school doing Read Across America with the little guys. So looking forward to that. Almost done. I did receive one letter of commendation. It's brief, if you'll allow me to read it. Is that okay?
Sure.
Starts off, it was extraordinarily cold on Wednesday. I was unfamiliar with the New Jersey Transit bus system and got off too early to make a connection to home. After waiting about 90 minutes on Route 9W and accepting the fact that my bus would not be stopping there, despite its number 20A appearing on the stop sign, I became somewhat confused. Still rational, but slow. I called your department and they aided me. Police Officer Rampersad was dispatched to Food for Life, and he pointed me towards a different bus stop 2 blocks south. But more importantly, he said I could stop at the nearby police station with all the police cars parked outside if it didn't work. It didn't work out, and the temperature continued to drop. In the short distance to the station, where the extremely efficient dispatcher got me a ride down the hill to Englewood, where I finally did get the correct bus, and eventually, with detour to Port Authority, got home to Blauvelt safely. But I was in a heated bus from the time Police Officer Rampersad dropped me off at the correct bus stop in Englewood. He is a lifesaver, in my case, perhaps literally. Without the aid of these 2 dedicated police officers, that might not have happened. They remind me of the police officers in the 1950s in Short Hills, New Jersey, where I grew up. They helped people. Signed, very truly yours, Norbert Merck, Esquire. So I just want to say I'm very proud of Officer Rampersad for his work and for helping this elderly gentleman through that very cold evening and getting home safely. Finally, I just want to report on, I had a meeting with Administrator Barbario on January 19th regarding a couple of open items, and we continue to make progress from last year on those open items. That's the end of our program.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You have a question? Okay,
Yeah,
go
just
ahead.
one question. Who is coordinating all the construction in town between PSC&G? I don't know whether all the pipes are coming and going. Who does that?
What do you mean by coordinating?
Let's say Summit, they're doing Verizon and the gas and whatever. I have a resident who complained today, and I think he's right with his complaints. Or one time, a lot of streets are working and whatever. So who's decided to give them permission to start working there, or you just come and start doing it?
Yeah, most of it is borough endorsed work.
You mean they just can come to a street and start working?
Well, they go through my traffic officer for scheduling officers. We're there for traffic control and work zone safety. But like for example, the substation project that's going on for 3 years. That's
I'm not talking about that. This is like on the way out of the way, basically.
yeah.
But on Summit and Floyd, there's all the time,
The gas mains.
and every time there's someplace going and going. But who's coordinating? Who's coordinating? Who knows when they're doing it, not doing it, to let the residents know?
But I believe we are notifying the residents.
We know only about the gas. We're getting emails about the gas lines. All the rest we're not getting.
We do send information about the gas lines, you're correct.
That's all the information that we get.
We don't get information from Hudson Terrace because Hudson Terrace just continues.
No, I'm not talking. This is out of our way.
That's down
But-
Hudson Terrace and Palisade and other work, if it's emergent work, they have to do repairs. I mean, we wouldn't be able
Yeah, but they have to notify us that that the town has to know, and they can schedule the work. It's not emergency that a pipe busted here. They should give us
Well,
time.
if it's a water service or a gas service, it is an emergency. It needs to be repaired.
Unless
they call
that's
us.
okay. That's I understand. But they're doing work which is not emergency maintenance work, changing of pipes. which is okay for us eventually, but it creates a lot of havoc to the town, itself. Some roads are closed all of a sudden. People should be notified. If it should be scheduled, I'm not talking about emergency, it's fine. But really, they should work with us and notify us, and we should notify the residents.
I'm not sure who would make that notification.
I don't know. I'm wondering. I mean, everybody can come and start drilling, and here we go.
Well, like I said, we're there for traffic control and work zone safety.
No, I know what you're saying.
Notifying the residents, I'm not sure who.
I don't know. We were supposed to know. It's just because somebody comes in and start to drill in the middle of the street. And then the next block again, something else going, We really should know, and somebody in the town, I don't know who's, I don't know who's doing it, but really they should come to an entity in our town and coordinate all of it. Somebody should oversee it, who's working what in the town. Also, not to ruin the street, the roads, and who's going to be responsible later on.
They are responsible, they'll pay them.
Last time they did a horrible job. I'm telling you, Palisades Avenue, the way they're patching it up, I don't know what they're doing there. But I feel nobody's overseeing what's done in our town. This is the way I feel what's doing here. Nobody knows. The only thing we know is the gas lines. I'm sorry that I'm talking to you.
Substation.
This is permanent. For me, this is permanent already. It's a fact.
Okay, from now on, why don't you ask Jerry, PSNG, all the jobs?
PSNG are good. They're
I'll
good.
reach out to all utility companies.
The difficult part is, I'm not defending them, but you see the PSE&G trucks, PSE&G Electric and PSE&G
Right.
Gas
Okay.
are two separate companies. So even though they say PSE&G, one might be scheduled to work at the same location as the other, and they don't even know themselves, and they work for the same company. They're completely independent.
But I feel nobody comes to town, except of PSE&G that we get the emails. I feel everybody can come in and start drilling, and we don't know when and what, notifying you. But we should know that it should be a schedule, I'm sure they work with the plan, We should get the plan.
Oh, okay, that is not the police department job.
No, I don't know who. I'm
I feel like
sorry.
it's
I
outside the
know.
police department. I'm trying to answer you, but I'm
No,
not sure
I
who
know.
would
I
make
understand.
that
But maybe
notification.
somebody can answer
Some of
it.
it is outside the police department, and so we'll be able to get a handle on it.
Okay.
But as far as PSE&G Electric, if they're working on their poles and they need to shut down a lane, they may ask the police department for a police car there, but they don't necessarily notify us that they're working on that pole to do wire work or whatever they're doing. So I can speak to them to see if there's some kind of communication. But if they're going to tell me at 8 o'clock in the morning that they're coming into the borough and they work there all day, that's not notification.
I'm sure they're working with the plan. I don't believe they're waking up in the morning and say, let's go to Englewood Cliffs.
Well, no, that's my point. Again, I'm not defending them. The planned work, the gas main upgrades, the substation upgrades, that's all borough endorsed work.
Right.
Anything outside of that would be emergency work, which you're not gonna be able to deny them anyway. If someone needs.
No, not
electric
denied,
service or
but we
water
should be
service or
notified something, something, the town should be notified.
Their
Tomorrow we're
their
coming
priority is to
here.
restore service to their customers as fast as possible.
They notify us when they put a blockade at the end of the block.
Yeah, that's
It's
it.
the Board of Public Utility, and they don't have to notify us. As long as it's approved by the Board of Public Utility, good luck in getting them to notify us. We're lucky that we're getting, and it's only because we put pressure on them about Floyd Street for them to be kind enough to send us the 3 weeks rolling schedule.
Right.
That's what they've been trying to do, because we raised such
That's all we get.
about how come Floyd looks so terrible? Because they had 15 different big trucks over there. So that's why we started getting a 3 week rolling. But you never, and I agree with you. I agree we should, but you know what? They're never, ever going to contact us and to the point that we would like for them to be able to, for us to be able to communicate to the
I
public.
think it would just be inefficient to constantly be at the mercy of notifications.
And we are undergoing substantial upgrades by PSE&G. I mean, there's a $99 million project going on right now. Those are a lot of the utility poles that are going up. So in the long run, although it's an inconvenience, it will be of benefit to the town, more reliable electrical service.
Do you
That's
get
what they
that
say.
information, David?
Your house?
I reached out to PSC&G a long time ago, and I got all the specs on the project.
I'm right down the Englewood.
Can you share that with the council?
I believe I did. I posted it on Facebook, and I shared it with the council, but it was really not any detailed information. It was just this $99 million project, and that's all. So, okay, thanks. Thanks, thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, why don't you stay a little bit more? Because one of the residents gonna come in here the public session. Maybe they are gonna ask you something, so maybe you can be here. You are busy right now?
I actually was hoping to make it to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription before 8 o'clock.
Okay.
If you want me to stay, I
No,
can
no,
stay and answer that question. Otherwise, I have a feeling, I know what the question is regarding, and I think Jerry. I'm brief on.
Okay, maybe Jerry will.
And I can follow up with you.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you for your understanding. Have a good
Okay.
evening.
Take care.
Okay. Hi, good evening.
Good evening,
How are
Mayor.
you?
Council.
Okay.
Mark, I know it's not part of your report, but brief them a little bit about how you were notified of certain things, as far as the utility.
Utility companies, yes. It's similar, the emails with the three-week roll. When they have planned work, they do reach out. When we talk, I do work with Jerry and get schedule out. It's kind of 6 of 1, half dozen the other. Yes, there is short notice, but it is a utility, so that we do have to let them work on the poles and the gas main work. And it is true, the infrastructure will benefit us all in the end. Other than that, I can always reach out to the contacts that were given to the borough. And see if they can help us in any way, but more notify us of any future that they couple of things, Mayor, with regard to, speaking of PSCG, the substation down by me, they're doing well with progress. They're actually in the demo stage, the old structure's been removed and now preparing for footings and foundation for the new structure. That's down by me. PSC gas main work is, Jerry and I did with the chief, we did have concerns with safety and equipment and things on the street. The reference the chief made, there are, they call trunk lines. They should be done with those in 2 to 3 weeks. That's the big work. And then thereafter, laterals will be installed, 1 to 2 crews. What is it, over here? 2 crews? Right. Would be here for the duration. Much smaller, much more, less presence. Moving on to quantities, we did do our Riverside Co-op paving program. The quantities this year have been submitted. We'll compare those with PSCG quantities, which will be next month. Again, what they're gonna pay, what they're gonna report. We're gonna compare after the guessing. Winter finally showed up. Since we last met, January 16th, we had 3 inches of snow. February 13th, we had 6 inches of snow. February 17th, we had another 3 inches of snow. All went well. I'd like to thank the staff, everything was open, timely, no accidents, no injuries, no vehicles or personnel.
Okay, thank you.
Last, I did check with PD throughout all 3 events, and I don't believe anything more vehicle related to I will be reaching out to the recycling committee regarding the Pod storage containers and put your lockers
So that's what they are, pod storage.
Pod
Where the
storage.
pods held,
right here outside in the parking lot.
that's the two pods outside that we.
And they're all-
I just happened to see
Yeah, yeah,
like storage,
so
I'm like,
right.
what the
Right.
heck are we storing?
Right, just the lockers for the project until.
Okay.
until the week.
Makes sense, thank you very much, sir.
Just want to commend you for the great job that you did. The snow, excellent, quiet, nice,
Right. Yeah,
beautiful this
Thank you.
time.
I will say that they came down my street a lot slower.
I was gonna say.
I only got like 3 feet
No,
of snow in my
very
yard instead
quiet.
of 15,
All right.
so I was happy for that.
Right.
I only had half
Good
a
job.
heart attack, I had a stroke instead of
Good
a heart
job.
attack.
Like I said before, I give credit to the staff. I got one truck, the other 8, they
But they
monitor.
did a good job, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, okay, at this moment, I wanted to change our meeting, the order, because here a lot of public waiting, because we spend already closed session. So why don't you, start here?
Should I make a motion, Mayor?
Yeah, can I get the motion for the public
Motion
comment?
to open to the public.
Public, okay,
Any second?
second.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I'm just wondering what you were saying to Laura, I apologize. I thought the mayor was saying something which I
Oh,
didn't catch.
he's
I'm
trying
trying-
to change the order. He wants to
change
do
the order, public portion,
now.
because of public waiting here so long time.
What are
So,
we supposed to have next?
okay, we have a 5-minute time limit, and would you state your name and address, please?
Do we have to,
Oh, we didn't motion,
we have to have a vote, I
oh,
think.
vote, we need a vote,
Yes,
just a second, okay?
Yes.
We need-
I think David, made a
I made the motion, it was seconded by,
Okay, and the vote,
so,
roll call.
Okay, I'm sorry. Member Kim,
Yes.
member Simon,
Yes.
member Luciano, member Di Gregorio,
yes.
member Begets,
Yes.
member Liang.
Yes.
Okay, pass, okay. Okay, please, yes,
My
aye.
name is Vanessa Ron. I live in 28 Dillingham Place. I was here for a meeting about 6 months ago, I think, to complain about the Lichter's restaurant, which creates a lot of loud music, all kinds of people in my street, across the street, around 2 in the morning. It's creating a lot of problem for me, because it seems for me like the music is coming from my downstairs. It's very loud. I did called the police a few times. It takes time between the time the police goes there, that they have men available. They go in there, the music's not stops, but it's slower, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then it goes back on again. Now, last meeting, it was decided that it's going to be, they got the decibel machine, and they, as far as I know, it's supposed to be 50 decibels at the source of the music. It seems to me now that not all policemen are aware of what's going and what was decided last time. Because when I called, they were like, even one neighbor was saying to me that they were starting to live, they came with a machine to their house to see how high the music is. So it's not set together with everybody, in my opinion. Now, now they don't have outdoor seating, even though they do sit sometimes outside in the tent, which is plastic covering, so it's still loud music once in a while. And as soon as April comes, it's going to be again outdoor. And I was told by the mayor and Jerry to, God, the words are running away, to do a petition.
Yeah, sorry, I would have helped
I'm
you.
sorry, I'm like that. So I got a few of my neighbors, and I thought it's my problem and a couple from the side, but it's a lot of people in my street and some other streets that really hear the music. Some of them approach the police. I thought I was the only one. So it's an ongoing problem that needs to be solved. And as far as I know, because it's residential area, it's supposed to be stopped at 10 o'clock at night and not at 2 in the morning. It creates a lot of people parking in the streets, the residential streets, which I don't know why. I mean, that's another issue, but we have on my street, Dillingham, that it's a 1 hour parking unless you have a permit. Nobody obeys that anymore.
Do you mind if I ask a question? Oh, is this
We do, that's
on
why
the
I'm
agenda.
surprised that someone
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
say
see it.
anything before.
The only thing I would just caution the council, just, I strongly advise to let the public finish their comments and then stop, and then if you wanna, otherwise we can't really track the time.
Like that 5 minute go and everything else.
So I just wanted to go over things that I feel that it comes from Lifki's. I think that now the bicycle club is trying to overcome the noise from the other restaurant. So I have the bicycle club going on also.
Bicycle club used to be quiet.
Used to be.
I know.
Lately, it's not. The whole COVID thing, my
Okay.
street got, it's really, really bad. And what I would like, after talking to the mayor and Jerry, that it would be set as a rule so the police can follow the rule and not residents calling and complaining and annoying them, and it's an ongoing thing. So April comes along and I don't have to like say, oh my God, it's the weekend again. And so that's mostly what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You all done? Okay. Yeah.
is it?
Mr. Kim.
Yeah, just a couple questions. What's the usual time frame that this occurs?
It occurs mostly in the weekends, Fridays and Saturdays, unless they have a party going on during the week. It starts to get loud 10 p.m. till 2 in the morning.
When it changes to
Yeah,
this,
Very, very loud. It's a
Changes to
club,
nightclub.
it's not a restaurant. It's a
Okay.
club.
It's usually happening in that outdoor tent area at Lefty's?
No,
or-
honestly, the whole restaurant.
Oh, the whole restaurant.
As far as I know, I went there a few times with my pajamas to see what's going on. So in the summer, it's outdoor. They have two sections that they sit in. One is a outdoor restaurant and the other one is the tent. Now, the last time I've seen it was about 3 weeks ago. It was in the tent, very loud music. That it's not indoors, so it's not closed doors, and I don't know how sound travels, but it feels like it's in my kitchen.
Hmm.
It's really across, kind of, not directly across, but it feels like it's in my house. It's very loud.
Are we not introducing an ordinance this evening to address that?
Have an amendment.
No, but that's all.
An
Yes,
amendment?
Yes, yes, we're working on it.
Mr. Mensch, Mr. Mayor, can I be recognized, please? Mr. Mensch, I know Mr. Marinello worked on this last year, we had a lot of discussions about it. So, didn't we do an ordinance last year to prevent any outdoor amplified music?
Yeah, I think you did. Our office.
That's why I'm surprised to
Yeah.
see this too, the amendment to the noise
If-
ordinance. Because what we tried to do is we didn't wanna put ourselves in a situation where we wound up in litigation with being selective on how we amended this ordinance. So we felt that it was better, and that's why I'm surprised, I don't know what the heck, I don't even know where this appeared from, 2403.
Yeah.
But it's my understanding we have now on the books, no amplified noise outside of the restaurant. That's my understanding. I'm gonna ask our attorney to take
Yeah,
a look into it, because I'm surprised to hear this, because we addressed this at the end of last year, and I don't know how this got on. What is the amendment, Laura, that's on that agenda? Who-
Yeah, I can answer
who's
that.
on the
We did
agenda?
pass
Can
an
you have this
ordinance
on?
last
Yeah.
year.
So I can answer those questions. So, or some of those questions. So I can't speak from memory as to exactly what was passed last year. I can tell you that my office has been looking at this in consultation with Jerry and with your police chief and others to figure out how to solve not just this problem, but some other problems. There's two ways of tackling it. If I remember correctly, the way that's being proposed would be to change it to have a strict time limit cutoff, because right now that ordinance does not say that. Our office has also looked at the possibility
Just
of
clarify for me, what's that ordinance?
The ordinance is on the
We
books right
amended
now.
the ordinance last year.
the ordinance is on the books that I'm aware. If there's an ordinance that was passed that's not been updated into the municipal
Definitely
code,
not been updated into
then
our code book.
then if that's the case, then my office isn't, if it's not on the municipal code book, then I don't know that it's there.
It's
So
not
then
in the book because it was
then-
done at the last quarter of last year, and it was done with Mr. Marinello, or
Then-
maybe even sooner.
then-
It was done with Mr. Marinello, and I'd ask you to please reach
Yeah.
out. Laura, we need to look at the ordinances, because I know that we had
We
done
did,
this last year.
we did,
And
we
it
discussed
eliminated
this
all
as a result of you
outdoor
being there.
amplified
so
music.
if that's
Said we're gonna do it
right.
all
So
again.
if that's
Well, we
the
did.
case,
That's why I wanted
if
to
there is
know.
if there is a more updated ordinance that was passed sometime last year, but is not yet updated on the the municipal code on the borough's website, then we're working off. Then my office is working off an old ordinance, because that's where we go to get the ordinances as to what's on the municipal code. So if that's the case, then
Laura and I worked on this, and we believe it was introduced last year, but it was never passed at a second reading, at a second meeting. And that time frame was 11 PM to 8 AM for amplified music. What we're presenting here in '04 is 10 PM to 8 AM.
Mhm.
So we're changing it by an hour, but I couldn't find, and she couldn't find, where it was passed, where it was introduced, or at the second reading, passed the second reading. We couldn't find that. So we believe that it was introduced by Joe and then never made it to the second meeting, for whatever reason.
Oh, they fired them then. So is this the?
So they may have fired him, that's what is what.
He was not fired. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
So I think that's what
But
happened. I
is,
think
so,
that's-
really
Matt,
Yes.
is this the introduction? Is this
this
the
would
first?
this would be an
meeting?
introduction by title, and that
So
you
this
can
is
act on
just
it.
by title.
Introduction
So
by
at the
title.
next meeting.
Right,
it'll be-
and what's being proposed right now is just the time change that Jerry had mentioned. Our office has also looked at whether or not the borough wants to consider a more comprehensive update to all. There's model ordinances by DEP, kind
Well,
of.
maybe we should take
suggestions.
a look at that.
So I think the idea here is not delay fixing the current problem. And if there's a need to update it more comprehensively, we can update it more comprehensively off of the model ordinance if that's necessary after this is addressed.
Okay.
Matt, what ordinance are you working off of?
The old one.
Wow, the
The old one, right? It
ordinance,
has to have a number. What
yeah,
ordinance?
section 3-3,
3-3?
3-3, chapter 3, title
And when was that approved?
I don't know.
Because, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I know, that's why I'm wondering why you're saying from hours to hours. We eliminated all outdoor amplified music.
Exactly, yes. That's all we
Not
discussed,
time frame, all outside
All,
amplified music.
including the
That's what,
Bronx.
that's what our ordinance was last year that we introduced and maybe never finalized it. But if we're gonna introduce it, I would suggest once again, we go back to no outside amplified
You can-
music.
you can do
Not
it too.
a time frame, no outside music at all.
Period.
It makes no sense, because what they do, look, if they're gonna have it in the day, they're gonna have it in the day. Stop the outside music, give the residents some assistance, that's what I.
What about the, you mentioned about inside the music also?
I'm sorry. but
You
they're
have-
not listening to the police. They'll get a fine, but they'll make more money selling.
I understand.
alcohol.
Well,
Well, we may have
There's
to
bigger
broaden
issues.
that,
Yeah.
Man, there's bigger issues than just the noise, so I understand.
Yeah, this,
but
yeah.
we're looking to give you some relief now.
Okay, so this is my petition, can we put
Yeah.
it into the record?
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
And Councilman, when we go to vote on the ordinance, then the ordinance, whoever introduces it, by the title can clarify, introduce it
Well,
to
we
amend it
still
by.
On title, as you know, we don't need to have the details right now.
That's
I'm
fine.
just saying
Yeah.
before, when we go to besides title,
Right.
I mean, let's look at this, maybe we should
Yeah.
reach out to Mr. Marinello and see, I
Well, I'll
think,
figure it
Laura,
out.
why don't you pull up, you should have a record of what was introduced. Let's look at that compared to what you have. I'm not necessarily a fan of the time. I'm a fan of, you know what, like this young lady said, outside, now you have all this stuff. Everybody expanded.
The Brownstone started,
Brownstone
again, the
expanded, they
music.
enclosed their porch that they shouldn't
Yes.
have. They have outdoor seating, they have,
Well, somebody else
whatever,
can
the
do it.
stupid game in the front. You have the bicycle club that enclosed the front, all during COVID. That tent's supposed to come down, once the governor says, right now, construction can't do anything, because technically we're still under the COVID emergency. So, I mean, let's look at that, please, and I'm a fan of, no outside amplified music.
Absolutely.
Maybe you need something in there, like, if someone's gonna have a block party, or, to request a permit or something, maybe not, there maybe needs something to be in place, but
This is
as far as the
for,
commercial businesses, these people are getting
commercial
killed over here, let's just eliminate it.
Also, it's not only coming from outside amplified music, it's coming from the inside of the establishment also,
Right,
so
but then you
that
have
needs to be
have the
made
noise-
clear.
You have to have
And
the
you have
noise
to have
meter and
something
all that
else.
other crap.
All right, so I
Yeah,
think,
machine.
I think,
Oh,
If
okay.
you just say no outside amplified music, then you don't have to worry about a certified, noise meter, that's where we were trying to go. Because then who's trained on the noise meter? Who does it? Who enforces it? The Board of Health, the police? If we say none, if you see a speaker outside that's going, it's a violation, but, okay, I made my point, thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. We spoke about it, I don't know why it's not.
Yeah.
It is,
So-
Just a second. Okay. Matt.
Mayor, if somebody, you can take it in whatever you want, but for the ordinance, just so everyone understands, whenever somebody makes a motion on the ordinance, it'd be for introduction by title, which you all should have tonight. And then it would be set for a public hearing. You would then have a final action at, I guess, presumably your next meeting, as long as it's within the time frame to publish it. And at that point in time, we can iron out some of the nuances of the details of it.
That's what I
Were we
wanted to
given-
Yeah.
were
That
we
is-
given a
If we wanna
copy
change
of
it
the
to
ordinance?
no amplified music.
Oh, yeah.
At this, we can do that then,
Yes.
but we are introducing it by title now.
Correct. And I understand, I think everyone understands the direction the council wants to
Yeah,
go
well,
in here, which
so
is not
we-
a time, which is not the time issue, but it's no amplified music.
Okay.
And in the meantime, my office will look at the issue that was raised about the ordinance that was introduced and maybe not what's there. I'll make sure that, if there's any issues or questions, we provide them information to everybody, and then,
We have no copy of the ordinance.
the ordinance that's here right now is just by title. That's all that's there.
Okay.
That's all that's there.
Okay. Okay, let's move on. Okay, hi. Name and address, please.
113 Hollywood Avenue. Just a few things.
Can you please speak into the
Oh,
microphone?
you don't, I'm not loud enough, or I thought I was.
No,
In any
recording.
event, as you mostly know, some of you know, Englewood Cliffs, relatively small town, under 6,000 people population. So hiring the canning room to supply a part-time borough administrator
picking another
consultant
noise.
to help
Roberta,
other
Roberta, could you
part-time
hold on one
Right,
second,
yeah, we
please?
can't hear you because I'm hearing.
You can hear
And
the
there's
outside.
something going on outside.
Right.
If you speak closer to the microphone, you'll be amplified more.
You have to block out things that you won't be able to hear.
Anyhow, going back to Engel Cliffs, about, less than 6,000 people population. And $17,000 a month, while you were paying someone else $80 an hour. Same person who has a lot of experience. Mamaroneck actually gave him $25,000 to get rid of him. And all the wonderful things he did there, I don't know if you watch the news very much, but Mamaroneck has a terrible flooding problem. So I just have no idea what was done with that during his tenure. But the interesting thing is, Mr. Ratz had been approached by a resident who came in to thank me for alleviating the flooding in front of his property at 570 Sylvan. In June, there was a letter sitting on the desk when Mr. DeBarrio had left from someone who has another property on Sylvan Avenue. And when I asked Mark about it, he said, well, we couldn't this, we couldn't that. Oh, okay, and of course, Mr. Barbario did nothing. And I proceeded to take the action that was needed to get some of this cleaned up. It had nothing to do with the basin on Sylvan Avenue, which both the mayor and Mr. Barbario got such a nice email from Chris explaining to them that this gentleman had come to thank us and he would continue to monitor the drainage. I think that's great, except he has no idea, neither one of them have an idea about how it was done. So $17,000, $80 an hour, and sooner than originally proposed, a very substantial increase in the annual pay for the borough administrator of this very small town. What I understand is $168,000. Now, that may have changed. He was very quick to tell you that he doesn't need health benefits. It's very big of him. So I just think that somewhere along the way, this money that has been spent was not well spent, mainly because, now I wasn't going to bring some things up, but Mr. Barbario left it open. He referred to the Bergen County Community Development COVID grant for the senior center. Well, guess what? It never would have gotten done because nothing was done with that grant, and we would have lost that grant. So I'm so happy that they're prepared to pay for it, the work, for a contractor that I found who got the work done so that we didn't lose that grant.
That's a good job.
And there were other grants that slipped through both their fingers and those fingers because we put in place for it. So last year, CFO very nicely decided to tell that council I should have gotten that paid for. We had time. And ironically, there was no rush to get that done. So you had a special meeting on Monday to a resolution to pay DNL paving the money that they're due. That's interesting because the ordinance for that money is being introduced tonight by title. It's kind of backwards. I don't really know how that works. And quite frankly, truth be told, I spoke to the bond council. We both agreed that under the circumstances, rather than trying to get special meetings on the agenda when it's hard enough to get regular meetings quorum, you could do it in January. And by the way, you have a grant from the DOT for Floyd Street. So I don't know why, I think Mr. Noah was a little off about that. That's the next road to be done. As far as the other roads, those are roads that public service is obligated to fix, because they're the ones who dug it up. And just to answer your question about why and how this happens, for the public utilities, they started that gas work over 3 years ago, and then the money was put back into the budget for them, and therefore all this other gas work has gotten done in town. And as far as calling utilities, it's great that he's going to be reaching out, because they usually reach out to the borough as it happens. So I just hope that maybe before more drastic actions are taken, that you rethink what you're doing with regard to how you're running the borough administration building. And also CFO, I'm not sure yet, but the CFO is supposed to be bonded. Now, apparently, none of the other administrators found that out or knew about it, because they're not from our neck of the woods. And our CFO was not bonded. As far as I know, still isn't, because I gave him the application to fill out from the insurance company. And as of the end of the year, I never saw anything further about that. But since he's the one signing checks, transferring your money, he's supposed to be bonded. Also,
Sorry, Mr. President, I just want to make sure everyone's aware, you're over 6 minutes at this point. I just
I'm
want
very
to
sorry.
just let you
I
know.
had timed myself, but I kind of got off on things because of the items that were raised by Mr. Barbario. I'll be back. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next. Okay.
I
Hi,
also,
Deborah Sabara, 106 Hollywood Avenue. I'm here tonight to ask the council to support the park committee in the first reading of bond ordinance on the park renovation. Here's a copy of the presentation that was done on June 29th. Yes. Okay. This as to the cost and the expense of the renovation of the park. This is something that was approved by the prior mayor and council, unanimously actually, to move forward with plan number 3. So we would like the council as a whole, and for a bond ordinance, we need 4, but I believe that there's no reason why the council as a whole would not vote yes to move forward on this bond ordinance. If we don't move forward on this bond ordinance, then we will not be doing the renovations to both of our parks, which would be a real shame, because I can't imagine that anybody here would want to hold this up yet again. You know, this has been going on since probably 2016. So I think that it's important that you review it. You should have reviewed it already. The bond, I know it's only the first reading. I hope to get this passed. And if it does get passed, I hope that we'll have a special meeting 10 days from now when we can approve it, so that we can then have the 20 days that we need in order to actually get a bond, because we hope to go out to bid in April. So we need all this to kind of take place rather quickly, so that once we get the bids back, and those bids are actually, you know, within the budget that the engineers have prepared, hopefully, I feel pretty confident. I reviewed all the previous bids from Colliers and all of the very reputable general contractors that bid on that project. So I feel comfortable that we're gonna be okay, but you know, we don't know for sure until we actually get the bids back. That's one of the reasons why we're not, there seems to be some miscommunication with Boswell's office. They were going to, it did make sense to do the park on Irving first, so that this would be done before the renovation started at Johnson Field. That didn't mean that you sent it out to bid separately. For some reason, they stopped working on the plans for Johnson Field and just focused on Irving. Well, we can't go out for Irving and award a contract without knowing for sure that our budget is within what we went out to the public with and what the bond ordinance was for. So right now, the way it stands on the new schedule, I don't know if this is, I saw an email from Boswell's office to the new schedule. of the design The completion date will be February 20. So, little bit longer. And then
So there's never a good time for this. I understand. $6 million, I'm sure you guys can use $6 million on a lot of various other things in town, but this is one thing that truly will give back to the community. I know the gas lines are essential.
Laura, can you check?
I just unmuted.
Should be, long lasting. Is what we're hoping for. I'd like to stay on this one and see this project through. As everybody knows, I'm passionate about this. I am. Almost everybody. It's a lot more than that. So, anybody has any questions, I'm always available to answer any questions. I spoke to many of you. Any question you have, feel free to reach out. But I respectfully, would love for you guys to vote, to help push this through and get this back on track. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now Mary O'Shea.
Yes, thank you,
Mrs. O'Shea,
Mayor.
can you hear us?
I can hear you now. I have to tell you, the audio tonight is not good. I lost the volume when the police commissioner was talking. I never could hear Mark Neville. The last gentleman and some of the other people, you cut out, the picture stops and there's no sound. So it's not good tonight. And I get a message above the picture that says Englewood Cliffs has low bandwidth. So I don't know if that's the problem with the borough, low bandwidth. I'm not a computer person, so I don't know.
Yes, exactly.
What? What'd you say? I can't hear you. I can't hear anybody now.
Mrs. O'Shea, that's exactly correct.
No, okay, you just go ahead.
Okay, I'll just talk, okay.
Yeah, please stop.
I have-
Just speak. Yeah, okay, you go ahead.
Okay, I have 4 things I want to ask about. Who was the council president? Who was the council president?
Not appointed yet.
Nobody?
Not appointed yet.
Oh, not good, not good. Okay. The Boswell Engineering had commented months ago when I had questioned about the smoke test to see if people are putting their sump pump stormwater into the sanitary system. And I was wondering if that has been done and what the results were. Okay? And the last thing is quite important. I don't know if you all realize we've had a, can you hear me? Anybody? Nobody can hear me. Hello? 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 Nobody hear me? Nothing. 0. Tim, turn that down. Hello? 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 Hello?
There's Sharon's, no, Dr. Nancy keeps like concerned, and he blamed for my bags. Oh, maybe. Hey. Hey.
Hello?
Morning. Good morning. What was last?
Hello?
Robert.
Hello?
Come think of it, I called him a couple weeks ago and he was in a hurry.
Hello?
I can now realize he never did.
Yeah, and is that something you've noticed his memory?
Oh, really?
Hello?
That could happen anyway, so I knew that's all. Are you worried?
But Tim, and he was here. He fell when he was watching Isaiah.
He fell?
Yeah, nothing serious, but he did twist his knee. He just seemed a little confused, and I wouldn't be concerned, but Bert does have a family.
This is ridiculous.
Hello?
Hello?
I'm trying, nobody's there. Rivka, there's nothing, nothing.
Hello? What?
So why don't you talk? Why don't you talk here to my phone and they'll hear you, okay? And you'll hear us.
Okay, all right, I'll
Can you
try
hear
it.
us? Can you hear us?
Okay, I'm gonna speak through the phone to Rivka. Okay.
Who's this?
Did anybody hear what I asked about the smoke test?
Who's speaking?
Mary O'Shea trying to speak. The Boswell Engineering had said that they had a contract out for a firm to do smoke tests to see if people are illegally pumping their sump pump stormwater into the sanitary sewer. And when asked about it, they gave a circular answer that didn't answer anything, and said they were checking high problem. So I'd like somebody's going to follow up on that. Okay, the next thing is we've had a did I talk into the phone still? Okay, we've had a plan of naming streets after deceased veterans that were killed while they were in the service. And we had completed that when we named the street for Ostermeyer and for the veteran that was killed in World War I. And just recently, through the Facebook page that I have for Englewood Cliffs History, came to become aware that we had Philip M. Davis, Davis, who was a second lieutenant in the Army Air Corps in the Second World War, who was killed in a plane crash, in a training crash in service in Ohio. But unfortunately, because the parents had a post office box address in Englewood, they listed him as an Englewood resident.
We can't hear you. Hello?
Did anybody hear me? Hello, do I have an answer?
Mary, I can hear you.
Oh, thank you, Andrew. I can't hear anybody.
Vaseline lotion, 90% more moisture.
No. I mean, you know. All right. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. What a way to do business.
Don't worry, we only spent tens of thousands of dollars on it. It's fine.
I know. Unbelievable. I keep getting a message up on my screen that says low bandwidth. That seems to be the problem. And I'm not a computer person, so I don't know.
I think the connection at the Borough Hall is not working.
Uh-huh.
Lightly, just gonna sound as a joke.
No.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in sibling to a news, increase liver blood gas values in the income. Your doctor will check them before entering treatment. Most common side effects include stomach pain, diarrhea, difficulty sleeping, and back pain. Ask your doctor about hormone-free Veoza and enjoy the
we're talking about the sewer connection fees, and I gave a very brief, high-level synopsis.
So everybody's got the memo and we got lawsuit.
You can do that too. You don't have to take any action. The mayor is simply asking.
So you wanna table it?
Removing him, the mayor's asking if anybody, even though no one's asking, I guess the mayor wants to ask him.
Everybody should
Yeah.
be paid if he's doing work, you know?
Well, we're asking to
hasn't
see
done
the
anything.
work.
I don't know,
okay.
let's see, it's to prove it.
So we go.
Yeah,
ahead and
okay,
send-
that's the, okay,
You know what,
why don't you any,
Can I ask a question,
the
please?
motion?
Mr. Mayor?
Did it-
Uh,
Are we tabling that, Steve? Where are we going right
There's
now?
no
No,
motion, so let's-
Okay.
motion to,
Well, Mr. Mayor, can I be recognized, please?
just a second, I'm gonna finish about my motion. I didn't get any motion, right?
Right,
Ed.
I guess it's a question for you, Schwab, or, Mr. Who's signing off on the vouchers? Because I know none of us are signing off.
I know of.
So who's actually claiming responsibility for payments?
I don't know,
Who's
the
signing off on it?
financial
Where I've ever been
division,
Except here is that, the department head signs off on it, and then whoever the council person responsible for that area usually signs off on it. I know the last administration had this okey dokey kind of thing that one person would come in a month and sign, which I never agreed to, because I'm not signing off on anything that doesn't fall under my area of responsibility. But it's my understanding no one on the council is signing off on vouchers. And since we're talking about payments, who's signing off on it? Who's the ultimate responsibility?
who
signing
did?
off?
Mayor.
Someone, it used to be,
The
on
head
the
of the
voucher,
department.
it says department head and council member, right? Council members aren't
I'm not
signing.
signing.
So if we're talking about finance, are you signing off on it in our absence and you're responsible for it? I just want to know.
Okay,
So
you need a,
on the purchase order, there is no place for a council member to sign. It's most of the vouchers are being approved by me certifying the funds and the department head signing off that products and services were delivered.
Okay.
In case of professionals, the responsibility will fall on who is dealing with the professional, whether it's the municipal clerk or the town administrator, or if it's an auditor or a bond counsel, it will be myself. So
Never
that's
used to
how
be
the
like
approval
that.
is working. Signatures on the purchase orders, that's not
Claiming all responsibility without a signing off. That's all I want to know. Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Okay, let's move on next.
when did
item.
that procedure change, that a council person or,
It always used to be council person stuff.
okay, so maybe we should reintroduce that. Councilman Luciano said maybe that's then divided. I don't know. I think we need to have some sort of
I'm not
stand.
dividing anything. Whatever I'm responsible for
It used to be
under our committees,
liaison.
that's what I'm
Right.
gonna sign for. I'm not gonna go in and sign off on finance things that I'm not responsible for.
So maybe we need to devise a standard operating procedure on that note. Yes?
Yeah, whoever the two council people are responsible for that area on the committee, if whoever's on the finance committee, two people from the finance.
No,
committee
no,
should
no,
sign off
that,
on-
that's no good because,
That's no good. Then
okay,
let me
all,
just sign off on it.
all council members have to assign each month to, otherwise, just someone coming every month, but someone not coming at all. So that's no good. And
Well,
even though,
that's what you set up the committee. What
council,
do you want me to say?
the committee is just a financial issue only. That this is just in general, the payment issue.
What does the mayor say?
God
This
only
is-
knows, but whatever, if something is done, if I'm not on the rec committee, and you want me to come in and sign a voucher from the rec.
We
I'm
did
not
it.
going to do
We did it.
I'm not doing it.
I did it already.
You might
So
do
many.
it. I'm not signing off on something that I'm not responsible for.
Then who's going to be responsible about it? Someone have to sign off this
Mayor, you
one.
can sign off on them all, take responsibility for it all. I'm not.
No, everybody has an equal responsibility here.
Okay, you say so.
Okay, so maybe the best way to handle this is to, let's devise a standard operating procedure where maybe the mayor, and we just, I think the best way is to logically figure it out. Maybe Jerry can tell us what the standard operating procedure is in other areas, and then we can come up with a good system that everyone is satisfied with. Yes? Okay, so should we discuss it then over in by next meeting? Do you think we'll have an answer to?
Jerry, do you know now? Can you tell us? No, I can tell you that in other municipalities that I work in, that the administrator would sign off on it, and then it would be reviewed by the council. It would be reviewed.
So they would have to sign off it too, right? When you're saying
Mhm.
review?
It wasn't exactly a sign off, it was just reviewed. And then it would be added to
We used to
the-
have to sign. Do our vouchers indicate a council person's signature required on the voucher?
On the purchase order?
On
No.
the voucher? No? Okay.
But if,
I'm
but if,
just not
but
signing
if
anything.
council,
I'm not
but if council
responsible
wants
for.
to add and sign, we, there's no problem.
For the two-person going before the.
Yeah, we did always a two-person signed up.
I have another question, I think it's really.
Change the voucher.
I need clarification.
You add that.
Okay.
Everybody on that council?
Yes, right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
may I ask the CFO a question, please? This was brought to light when Ms. Stern got up and spoke. So I'm asking you, are you bonded?
I'm bonded under the blanket insurance as far as I know. I know
As
there
far
was-
as you know?
Yes,
How do we find that out?
you can confirm with the.
And do we need more specific bonding? I mean, in all fairness, you handle a lot of money, and there's not a lot of oversight. So I would like to make sure that we're protected here.
I'll work with the administrator and make sure, yes.
Yeah, I would appreciate that be done post haste.
One other thing while we're talking, Mr. Mayor, can I just, one other thing?
Okay, why don't you, so many, agenda is keep continue, here and there, and I'm gonna keep to this communication.
When do you expect me to ask questions?
Uh,
Since no questions are answered by email in between meetings, and now you're gonna say I asked too many questions. When are we supposed to ask questions?
Okay, anyhow, we have to keep about our agenda,
When are
okay?
we supposed to ask questions?
You can send email in the
You
meantime.
don't
We
answer
can ask.
emails.
Did you send the email to me?
Do you answer emails?
No,
No,
I
don't
answered
answer
you.
emails, and we were told at the last meeting.
Okay. You talking about the communication regarding about the,
You told me, if you said that's when we're going to ask and answer questions. I'm a little confused.
okay, you can ask anytime by email. Here, our meeting keep continue delayed. I don't like it though, this kind of,
So you mean
unprotected.
asking about who's signing off on the voucher? You didn't like that one? That's not an important question. When will we
in time.
discuss it? In between the meetings or by text?
Next
My
meeting.
question is on, Mr. Rivera, can you work with the city here? I'd really like to see a listing, because I'm seeing some of these things on these bills for recreation programs. And I'd just like to know, I want to make sure, and we've had this discussion before, and I never got the answer. I'd like to see what the revenue is that we're proposing. We propose all these programs, and we pay people money to put on programs, and I hate to see that we're paying an instructor $500, and they have one student that's $50. So I'm not trying to cut programs, but I think look at it realistically. And I'd like to see what the revenue is for these programs and what the expenses are, and is it economically responsible for us to continue programs?
Let me answer you, okay? This question in general, okay? We did discuss all fees in the town to review them, okay?
Did you get that?
We just started it, okay?
No, but we
Just
talked
started
about
it.
the last time when you were appointed on the council. we talked
Listen
about-
to me,
Yes, ma'am.
Rome was not built in one day, so
I know you
please
keep saying that.
give us a chance, okay? We'll sit on top of it, so let us go further here. So just to answer you nicely, okay?
Okay, I appreciate that.
He's working on it looking all the fees in town,
Okay.
all the incomes that pretend to those fees, and to see where we stand, okay? We're running now a business.
That's great.
good.
You know what, if you would have communicated that to me before tonight?
I never heard it
wouldn't
from
have
you.
had to ask that question,
I
would
never
I?
heard it from you anything,
know.
okay? And that's it, so I'm telling you, I would report to you in my committee meeting, okay?
Thank you. Well, I thought you were gonna do it,
Today.
you're gonna do it tonight?
Yes, I will tell you,
So
that's
you
what
know
we
the- you know
discussed.
the numbers.
No, we just started it, okay? Number, yeah, would you know the numbers like this? No.
Okay,
I wanna know by program.
Yeah, you'll have that.
You will have it, it does a spreadsheet, it does a wonderful job. That's all, so we are on top of things.
That's a simple question. It's a reasonable question. What are we paying for? What are we bringing in?
Working on
to
it.
Continue the program. Thank you, Mayor.
okay, then you go okay, you just tell him, and I don't know why everybody knows about that one. You just email it to him because we are spending too much useless time wasting here. That I don't like it though.
I don't like it either.
Okay,
If we communicate
so
in
please
between the
stop
meetings,
it,
we wouldn't have
okay?
to do that.
You do always this meeting, you just alone, you talking about it here compared with all six
No one
people.
answers.
Everybody,
No one
can
answers,
I,
that's why,
can
man.
I, can I make a
You can
motion
upset all you want. I really
Yes.
don't
for the
care.
consent agenda,
Yeah,
which is item 11?
Yes.
Do we have a
Where are
second?
we?
I have a second here.
what is it?
There we go.
Second.
Consent agenda.
It's all the items under the consent
Well, can we have
agenda.
discussion?
Yep.
I don't know, one by one.
Okay, one by one?
Yeah, that's what the request is.
Well, but the motion is for consent agenda, so the motion and the second is for all items together.
Right.
That's what the motion is on the
The
table.
bylaws indicate that if one council member requested to be separated
Yeah,
out,
separate.
it can be separated out. So there's been a request by a councilwoman to vote on them individually. We could have just, if we wasn't trying to be rammed through, we could have said here, because I have a few on here that I'd like to vote on separately, but now I second the motion.
We had a motion and a
Yeah,
second.
motion.
We had a motion
Okay.
and a second
Go-
for
go ahead.
consent, and
Okay,
that
roll-
was for Mr. Liang and myself.
Okay,
So
roll call,
we
please.
need to take a vote on
How's
that.
that? No, I make a motion to table before the vote. How's
So,
that?
so then there'd be a vote on the motion to table. Doesn't need to be a second. There's no discussion.
Good.
There's one, so there
I'll
would be
second
a,
that. I'll
Laura,
second
there'd be
Motion
a roll call vote, Laura, on the motion to table
Motion
the
to table
consent agenda.
first. Okay.
Okay.
Member Kim,
Yes.
Member Simon,
Yes.
Member Luciano,
Yes, and this is only because we have a request that you're not following the bylaws to break out individual ones, so I'm voting, yes to table.
Member Di Gregorio. Member Di Gregorio,
I because I'm gonna vote not to table, that you want to break out for time, to save time and to be fair to you. And then we can proceed that, that way. So I'm gonna
We ask our legal counsel for an
I told you what I was doing.
bylaws clearly indicate that if you have one council member
to extend the current contract for 3 months while you go back out and bid. We want to make sure the elevator subcode services are still getting done, but you have to bid the services. So if you're comfortable not having a written resolution in front of you to that effect, then you can vote on that, which would be the resolution. But otherwise, it'd be on for the next agenda.
Matt, this is currently who's doing this? for
Yes,
us?
this is just extending the contract.
3 months.
Yes, which you can do within reason. You know, we can't go in indefinitely. So the recommendation here is to approve it under the same terms, just extending it so it's still getting done. You know, there's more elevators in town than you'd realize, and so you need to make sure that they're being serviced, and then authorizing to go out for RFP. So you might get the same bidder again, but you need to go back out. You can't do it indefinitely.
Are we going to take a motion on that?
It's up to the council.
One question, Matt.
Yes.
If we don't approve this now, we have nobody inspecting our elevators?
Well, they're probably still going to do it, but it's not proper. It's not proper. It'd be better to do it.
I'll make the motion to extend the contract for 3 months.
And I'll second it.
Okay,
And authorizing it to go out to RFP in the meantime.
Okay.
okay.
Member Kim?
I'm sorry, can you,
So
where are
it's
we?
2480.
For the extension for
Oh,
3
fine,
months.
yeah, okay, yes.
2480?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we,
Yeah, it would be
even though
to-
it's not part of the package.
Okay,
that's fine,
Yeah,
that's fine.
extend the term for
Sure, yes.
3 months and authorize to go out for RFP.
That's fine, yes.
Member Simon?
Yes.
Member Luciano? Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Yes.
Member Liang?
Yes.
It passes. 81, appointment of tax appraiser O2 Auto Group Insurance
Motion.
Incorporated.
I
Can't
saw this
pronounce
come
it.
in late
Motion,
in the day.
anyone
How did we
motion
get
to?
this group, Matt? Came to you?
I don't know.
I got it. I got the law firm.
Who got it? The mayor?
Yeah, I got it.
Where are these people from, Mr. Mayor?
I got this group from the mayor, no, not the mayor, the lawyer firm. I forgot what is his name. Just-
Nogard.
Nogard, right? Sorry, okay. Nogard, yes. That's it. Okay,
That's good.
That's problematic.
okay. Motion
Can I motion?
I make a motion.
and a second.
Second.
Member Kim?
We're doing 2481, right?
Correct.
Yes, yes.
Member Simon?
What did Councilman Kim say?
Yes.
I don't
Member,
know who these people are, so no.
member, no?
No. I have to know everything?
Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Yes.
Member Liang?
That's why we're up
May
here.
it passes.
No, everything.
2482, authorize the agreement with the Health Awareness Regional Program to provide the borough with various public health nursing services.
Motion,
Make a motion.
Second.
anyone second?
Second.
Yes.
Should this, question please, should this not be falling under the auspices of, the Board of Health? Because I know they do provide services, certainly to the seniors. Is this in addition to? What does this actually include?
Nursing services.
Right, to try to help people. I don't think the Board of Health does that. I think this would be something that would be called upon if a senior or resident was asking for something like that.
And who provides
This is,
this?
this is a new item on the agenda?
No,
On the budget?
Happens
That's
that,
true.
happens that, yeah. Okay. Is
Member-
there a cost to us for this?
$5,082
A year.
Yes.
per year.
Member
How
Kim?
they use it?
Yes.
Member Simon?
Yes.
Member Luciano? Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Yes.
Member Liang?
Yes.
That's 2483, the authorize a tax appeal for 53 Center Street.
Anyone motion for this one?
Discussion.
Discussion?
Who worked this out? Who worked out the tax appeal?
Bill Marinello.
I believe that all the ones that are on here are from Joe's, the ones that Joe
Some
had
Joe,
done.
yes.
The office buildings. All four of them are what?
From Joseph. Joe Marinelli.
Office buildings.
We have a motion and a second.
Anybody second?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Liang, you motioned it, right? Who motioned that?
I'll motion it, I'll motion it.
Okay.
Mr. King did it.
Second was Mrs. Simon.
Simon.
Okay. Member Kim?
Yes.
Member Simon?
Is this 83?
883, correct.
I had made that motion. Okay, yes.
Member Luciano?
Abstain.
Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Abstain.
Member Liang?
Yes.
It passes.
Now 85.
2484.
84.
This is the tax appeal for 980 Sylvan Avenue.
2484.
I need a motion.
Second.
I didn't have a motion.
Motion.
I make a motion.
Member Liang, you want to second that? Mr. Kim motioned it already.
Oh, second.
Member Kim?
Yes.
Member Simon?
Abstain.
Member Luciano?
Abstain.
Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Abstain.
Member Liang?
Yes.
It's 3-3. You pass or-
Yes.
The abstentions would, it would pass.
It will pass too, right? Okay. 2485, authorize the tax appeal for 120 Sylvan Avenue.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Make second.
Roll call, please.
Member Kim?
Yes.
Member Simon?
Abstain.
Member Luciano?
Abstain.
Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Abstain.
Member Liang?
Yes.
2486, the authorized tax appeal for 560 Sylvan Avenue.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Member Kim?
Yes.
Member Simon?
Abstain.
Member Luciano?
Abstain.
Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Abstain.
Member Liang?
Yes.
Now we all,
Have to get my agenda first.
okay, and what is the next agenda is introduction of the ordinance, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I need a motion for the introduction of ordinance.
I make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Make sure,
Oh, no,
Laura,
no,
just
no,
read it by
Yeah,
title.
just wanna say, should I just read it?
first, okay.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
motion and second. Sign.
All three together.
It is an ordinance of the Borough of Englewood Cliffs in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, amending ordinance number 22-13, the finally adopted September 14, 2022, providing for various recreation improvements and appropriating $6,422,000, therefore, and providing the issuance of $6,114,000 in bonds or notes for the Borough of Englewood Cliffs to finance the same. And the public hearing will be on March 13th.
6,420,000, I think you said 22, but
22?
Okay.
It's 20.
March 13th.
March 13th.
There was already a motion, so I just need the roll call.
Member Kim?
Yes.
Member Simon?
Yes.
Member Luciano?
aye.
Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Yes.
Member Liang?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Go home now.
Congratulations.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Yeah, right.
2024-02, an ordinance of the Borough of Englewood Cliffs in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating $700,000 for various road improvements and providing for the issuance of $665,000 in bonds or notes of the Borough of Englewood Cliffs to finance the same. Public hearing again on March 13, 2024.
Okay, roll call, please.
You have a motion?
Motion.
Motion.
Make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Kim? Member Kim?
Yes.
Member Simon? Member Luciano?
No.
Member Di Gregorio?
Yes, with the assurance that it will not this kind of mistake will not happen again.
Member Begets?
Yes.
Member Liang?
Yes.
May it passes. 2403, amendment to the noise ordinance to include amplified outdoor music.
Oh, here we
Public
go.
hearing again on March 13th. What are we doing here?
We're gonna to read
Yes,
again?
yes. So this one was introduced earlier, but it would be 2024-03 amendment to the noise ordinance, which would be to not include, but to exclude amplified
exclude.
outdoor music.
Exclude amplified music.
Okay.
Motion and second?
Okay, anybody, motion?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Member Kim?
Yes.
Member Simon?
Yes.
Member Luciano? Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begets?
Yes.
Member Liang?
And the next agenda is a committee reporter. Anybody, any committee?
Yes, I'll do it
They
very
can do that.
fast.
Okay, yes, you can do that.
Okay, safety committee, we dealt with the noise, this ordinance. We discussed a lot about it. Also might do fines, we scheduled some fines with that, increase our fines. We also dealt with the cameras in town. I think we have to buy additional 7 and additional, 7 total, we got 2 and 5 we have to buy. I think it's $100 and something thousand.
About $20,000.
Yeah, about $20,000 each. Hopefully you'll find money for that because this has to pass.
What are the safety cameras for?
To see the driver's license, when whatever. So this is to prevent theft or whatever, because most of the town around us have it. So the thieves are coming to our town because they know we don't have it. Okay? We'll read it, they'll
I'm
know
not
it's
against
there.
it, I'm
No,
just
no, no,
asking.
it's prevention,
The majority of
prevention.
the time, I'm not against it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Majority of the time, they come in stolen cars. So even with that, unless it's,
I-
letting them know they come in stolen cars. and
Well,
they
maybe
steal
they'll
the
think
cars,
they
but-
take pictures,
I
I
agree,
don't
I'm
know.
with it. I'm just
Okay,
mentioning
all
it.
right. Also, the mayor introduced an auxiliary police in our town. He will, he asked to look into it and we dealt it in the committee. Very important issue was the insurance. Whoever will volunteer when, God forbid, something happens to him, to the car, whatever. Jerry researched it and we are covered. So anybody who will be with the auxiliary, he will be covered.
It's a neighborhood watch program.
It's a neighborhood watch program. It's gonna be good for the children with some maybe credit for college, because they have driver's license at that point.
Is it auxiliary police or is it neighborhood watch?
Neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood watch, auxiliary, whatever you wanna call it.
They're all big difference.
I know, we'll figure everything out in due time, but right now it's dealt with that. So this is with the safety, what we dealt. Also, like I said, we dealt with the fines in the level of fines for the noise. We dealt with all the fees in town. Okay, Jerry will review all the fees. Is that already somebody from Borough Hall on it? We're trying to see how much money comes in, how much money goes out versus to see where we live. And he found out already some fees were not increased in 1970, just to show you people where we live. So this is also. Another thing, I'm also a liaison with planning board. The planning board requested two items for us to discuss. One of them is the trees issue in the town. I think next agenda, next meeting, we should discuss the tree situation in the town. We should look what ordinance we have, if somebody has any ideas what to do with them. This is number one. Number two, there is problem with the, with the retaining walls, okay? Retaining walls has to be also addressed because it eliminates a lot of flooding and it should be done the right way, positioned the right way. They also asked to request to look into it.
Homes.
Yeah, homes, not whatever, homes. Yeah, people are not building it correctly or whatever. So this, I guess we'll talk to the engineer, we'll find out what can be done about it, not done or whatever. So I think the three issues are very important now, cutting trees left and right. We don't know what they're doing with that, who is replacing them, not replacing. I feel it really got out of control, and we should address it in our next meeting. We'll bring all what we have in town, we'll get, all the ordinance, to the, and discuss it here. So this is my report for my two committees. There was agenda, of course, we're working, and you saw what produced. Some of them just added the last minute, and that's it, what I have to report.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. You got anybody else? Okay,
Yes,
yeah, David,
I'll try to
David.
keep it as short as
Oh,
possible.
I forgot also something else.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chamber of Commerce, okay? Yes, we got a great program that we're gonna give for the chamber, people, membership in the Chamber of Commerce, businesses for no charge. It's gonna cost to Englewood Cliffs $3,000 a year, and everybody could be a member in Chamber of Commerce. So this is a good welcome to everybody comes to our town. Everybody's in town, has a business, and they have great programs. They have a lot of support for businesses. The Small Business Bureau is working with them together. We met the guy, and very impressed what they have. 4 establishment just got exposure on Channel 12. They're gonna come and they will film them and put them on news. And one is the barbecue place in Englewood Cliffs, one is the bicycle club, one is the learning center, and one is the Cadillac. So we got segments of all what we have here, and it's a good program. We'll move forward. We'll expose our community to a lot of good things. That's it. So now,
Yeah, that's a very good program,
Yes,
but
very
the
good
problem is how, here retail business or office can join it. You have information and how we can share it.
yes, okay. I know. We will find a way to approach them. We're not gonna approach, I don't know how many we have. We have to look through them, who they are. But of course, first of all, we'll go to the people that we see, like the restaurants, things like that. And then we'll start to go to the big firms. We'll find a way to get them.
Okay, that is, I think our council member have to one team and to support this one because we need a chamber of commerce
Yes,
for
we
our
have a good
town.
one now.
So, just I'm reminding you, please keep in mind how we can, approach it to the retail or office or large, company
Yes,
to join
we'll
the
do that.
program.
Yes,
Okay.
do,
But that's
Brochures, we did request brochures.
Yes.
So that we can drop them off.
We have they're gonna give us brochures, and what's good, they did not limit us to how many we have. I kept asking them how many I can have, to join. No limit. They wanted all of us. So to come there, which is very nice. Very impressed with their program. Really.
okay,
Always chamber comes before, not like
yeah,
that.
that's exciting news. Okay, thank you. And David,
Yeah,
do you have-
piggybacking, I think that's great, Rivka, that we're being proactive
Yes.
in the Chamber of Commerce. I think it's more important than ever to promote this town and put out the good vibes, particularly to ask and make this place attractive and make it known to prospective businesses, from startups all the way to corporate headquarters to multi-million-dollar enterprises. I did recently post on Facebook and on LinkedIn kind of an ad promoting our town,
Yeah, I saw it.
which I think we need to do more of. Each one of us can tell a story about a separate business that located here. I happen to have found an article in the New York Times about when CNBC moved into town. There are other success stories. I know one backup moved here not too long ago, and we should promote them, embrace them, and as a council, we should be a marketing team at the same time. And I think the Chamber of Commerce is great. I will schedule a meeting for economic development, which I think it falls all under that same umbrella. The public, let me just see here, wait a second. Public Works and Buildings and Grounds, they're very similar committees. I do not have a report on them. I know that Jerry's been busy with them. Beautification, another committee, which did not meet. Historical, I on the website, I looked to try to add to our historical page. Again, need to do to schedule a meeting, but technology, we did meet, and Councilman Liang very usefully suggested that we have some sort of how did you term the go ahead.
Just kind of recommendations. This year, some kind of governance mission statement, something what do you want to try to do, right? And also from execution level, what is your plan for this year? Which area we can improve with reasonable resource, right? People and the money.
And I totally agree. And technology is awaiting. I think we're behind on a lot of technology that can be integrated. What has been so far is this council room. Now, you'll notice that, and I can bring it up now to Councilman Luciano's $16,000 criticism. Right now, we are connected to my phone through Zoom. We have had no interruption whatsoever. What we have in here is a problem with internet connectivity. As far as I can see, we're connected to ECPD, which is a very unstable connection and very weak. So I would recommend that we take a look at getting a rock solid internet high-speed connection in here. I think that'll help matters, and I'll be in touch again with that. As far as the website launch goes, you heard from our borough administrator so far. I plan to come in, I think, tomorrow. There's been a lot of work done on with Town Web, our vendor, to make it as easy as possible for residents to find information through one master directory page instead of a lot of drop downs and hunting, and one master calendar. And I think there can be a lot more updating. And if that is not a static site, if it's a dynamic site where we have new information and use it as, again, a promotional tool to show our residents that we have things that put us on the map. We have Frank Sinatra that was discovered here. We have the Van Gelder Studios, all the great jazz artists. So we have a claim to the arts. All of this stuff, we need to put out those vibes. And I think that we all have an opportunity, although we have our disagreements, but we have a huge opportunity to put this town on the map in the best way possible. We have a little jewel here, and let's take care of it, and let's promote it, and let's show people how good it is, and have them move in the residential community, have them move in along our what was called $1 trillion mile. And we should have signs, again, promoting that town, welcome signs, welcome to Englewood Cliffs. So there's a lot we can do at very little cost. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Finance? Okay.
Finance committee, 2 or 3 weeks, thank you. We had a wonderful kind of a presentation. Start with you and perhaps check for the front from Englewood Cliff financial, the overall situation respect to 2023. And tomorrow we're gonna have a meeting. This is the first meeting we have, face to face, right? Talk about the 2024 budgeting process, know the map. And also, a little bit beyond the community, we talk about the community. 2 weeks ago, Mayor and me, we joined one of the Lunar New Year celebration, hundreds of people in the school. It was wonderful.
Oh, yeah, so wonderful,
Food
yes.
is wonderful, and the performance is wonderful. A lot of kids, a lot of parents. And then we receive a thank you letter, thanks letter, and I forwarded to you. That was the Asian communities very much involved in help us access to involve their activities. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay.
Are we done?
Anyway,
Can I just make one final comment?
Okay,
Just
just a
one final comment. I see we have a new a resident that just logged on. I think it's, I just have to say, I think it's wonderful that we're moving ahead with the park. I think it's wonderful that the committee reconvened, that we're back on track, and it should be headline news within Englewood Cliffs and this whole area. I think congratulations to all the members led by Debbie Sabari on keeping this together and holding us together. I'm just over the top and just so elated on it. So
Okay.
congratulations. I think we can
Congratulations.
all
Are we done?
congratulate
We have to
everyone
do a
who's
motion.
involved with this.
Okay, you have a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to introduce a motion to give Mark Park an authority to sign agreement with attorney of his choice to represent Mark Park, Mr. Link, and myself, to defense complaint of Simon and Luciano.
Motion.
Leave that motion to me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yes, I can agree. The motion that the councilwoman made was to provide authority for the mayor to enter into an agreement to retain an attorney to represent him and the two council members in defense of the lawsuit that you and Councilman Luciano have brought against them. I cannot do it because I can't. Yeah, and so I don't know. The mayor had asked me to prepare a written resolution to that effect.
Man, can you talk about the lawsuit? What is it about? What's the basis of it?
So
and
there
cause of
was
action?
a lawsuit filed. Obviously, don't want to get into all the details, but there's a lawsuit filed where Councilman Luciano and Councilwoman Simon are the plaintiffs, alleging that there was a conflict of interest in a vote that occurred with regard to Mr. Wunsch at the reorg meeting with regard to taking a vote that says they did not want Mr. Wunsch as the attorney, and they raised an issue in their complaint about whether there is a conflict of interest with that vote generally, and then I think going forward there's a question about prospective, if there was a conflict, to what extent are those three members further conflicted from taking action with regard to matters involving Mr. Wunsch. And so that matter is currently pending in front, and Englewood Cliffs as a borough is also a defendant as well. So so right now, there's a matter pending in front of the Superior Court in April to discuss the issue of whether there was a conflict of interest. And if there wasn't, then that's the end of it. If there was a conflict of interest, or there is a conflict of interest, what does that mean with regard to managing the various legal issues which Mr. Wunsch is still involved with? So I think there would be, Councilwoman had one motion. I think I assume, I have a resolution prepared on a second motion, which is retain counsel for the borough. The borough may not really have a position in the case necessarily, but
Is the borough named a party in the action?
it's a named party. It's a named party. So we need to be represented by law. As you know, you have to have an attorney represent you. I can't do it. The borough may not have a position on the merits. I don't know. I haven't, I don't know what that position would be. But the borough, from a borough perspective, it needs to be clarity on the issue.
Right.
But
how can doesn't it create a conflict if members who are party to that litigation try to vote on this particular motion? I don't understand how a council member could make that's being a party to that motion can bring that motion.
It's no different. I don't believe it's any different than I hate to say it this way, right? But the borough gets sued all the time, right? And sometimes you get sued individually. There's lawsuits that have been out there where people have named both the borough as an entity and individual members as defendants. You all vote on attorneys. Sometimes they're JIF supplied attorneys. You certainly vote on those conflicts. You have to have attorneys. The borough ordinance 2-17 says that if a council member is sued, that the borough indemnifies and provides a defense and indemnification. So the ordinance requires it. Certainly in this instance where it's.
Why would you need a motion then in order to, if the ordinance requires it?
Well, the ordinance, requires it, but I think like most actions, you still need, ordinance, says it's required, but to enter into an agreement to give the mayor authority to go out and retain an attorney to do that, you still need a motion. So that's I think the first motion is, to authorize the mayor to retain an attorney to represent defendant of the three the three individual defendants. And then I don't know if the councilwoman was going to make a second motion, but I would ask that the council make a second motion because the borough needs to be represented as a party defendant
Why don't you do that, the second motion?
What's that?
Well, this is done separately, right?
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
separately.
what was the I'm sorry, what was,
Yes.
so what's?
So the motion that was currently made by the councilwoman was to authorize the mayor to retain an attorney to represent the mayor and the two council members who were individual defendants in the lawsuit brought by Councilman Luciano and Councilwoman Simon. That's issue one.
Right.
Issue two,
That in their capacity as mayor
in their
and council
capacity as mayor,
members.
because that's how
Okay.
they're being sued. And ordinance 2-17 is your indemnification provision, which provides that defendants in connection with their position are entitled to a defense. The second issue, which is not yet made on the table, is the borough needs an attorney to represent the borough as an entity, which may or may not have a position on the matter. I don't know, but it's a party defendant, and again, I can't do it. My recommendation is an attorney named Scott Salmon. He's represented. He's at a firm Jardine, Meisner, Salmon, Sprague, and he was one of the attorneys, for those of you who were here 2 years ago, I guess, when we had to bring in a bunch of people. I forget who the lawsuit was, quite frankly. It could have been, I don't know who was the plaintiffs, but I need to bring in like 5 different attorneys because everybody was being sued and there was I think it was Oprah issues. But anyway, he was one of the attorneys who came in and represented, I think he represented Ramon Farrow at that point. Although Scott's not that it matters. I mean, Scott's a Democrat, but he represented Farrow. So that was my recommendation. He's not really, involved. But if you have somebody else you want to use, I don't care. I just recommended Scott because I like him. But
Okay, can I have a motion?
So I have a motion. I need a second.
I need a second. Okay,
They're obviously going to vote for representation.
correct. Which they'd be entitled, which they're entitled to under the ordinance.
Okay.
I mean,
that's
so
all.
if
okay, I need a second. Okay, roll call, please.
Oh,
Member Kim?
I abstain.
Abstain.
what did you do?
Abstain. Member Simon? She can't vote, right?
Can we have to?
Should I recuse?
I would anticipate that it's probably gonna pass. My recommendation, take it or leave it, would be to probably recuse since
Well,
you're the
that's what
defendant.
I
I mean,
feel is the
you-
appropriate thing to do.
that was my recommendation, since
Okay.
you're the defendant and you'd be either
Yeah,
voting to
so
deny
I-
them a defense or voting in favor of, obviously. you want to
Recuse.
answer.
Can I just quickly,
Yes,
we didn't have discussion. I just wanted to ask a quick question, if it's possible. What if the if the two people that put in this complaint would withdraw it? If they withdraw the complaint, then it's not an issue anymore, correct?
Well, it's not an issue for purposes of retaining counsel right now, correct? I mean, that's
Right.
the current issue.
So my recommendation would be, I mean, look,
There's a motion on the
I know there's a motion on the floor, but I just want to say my piece. Because, all of this disunity here, it's not beautiful at all, and it doesn't help us. Someone told me not too long ago, good government is good politics. What we have is bad government, and we have bad motions and bad actions, and it divides. I mean, thank God the park passed. Everyone agreed with that. But all this other stuff is just total BS. And I really think, the judge ordered certain things are gonna happen. And this is static and a distraction, and it's gonna cause more ill will and a lack of trust, and the borough a lot of money. I mean, here, Councilman Luciano constantly saying $16,000. Yeah, hey, $16,000 bought all these microphones.
Quality of what we've done is crap. That's why I complain about it.
The quality.
that
No,
being
so
said-
all I'm saying is that let's exercise a little goodwill, a little decency, and I.
Just like you did by locking
Okay,
Al out
Mr.
of the
David Tigario, thank you for your.
He was not invited in the
Excuse
room.
me, just
He was not
keep on
invited
going
in the
about
room.
our-
Well, I'm sorry, but the council majority was there.
Just a roll call, please. Okay,
Okay,
that's
roll
okay.
call.
No more,
Yes.
no more argument here, okay?
Member
No more.
Luciano?
No, you cannot
Recuse?
vote.
It is recused.
Griffin says I can't vote, so I can't
I just need to hear it. I just need to hear it.
Griffin said I can't vote, so I.
Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Begats can recuse. Member Liang?
Yes.
So we have one, two. What do we have here? Oh, Member Di Gregorio, you said yes, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Should be at
So we
least
have-
3
Yeah, we have 3.
And then the second resolution, the the 217 provides a defense for any council member who's sued connected to their official capacity.
Yeah.
Ordinance
second.
2-17 in your borough code. So if someone's sued in their official capacity or related to their official duties, then the borough gives a defense and indemnification.
So why do we need to vote if the ordinance on?
Well, you vote because you still authorize contracts, you still authorize, to go out and execute something. And the second resolution would be to retain, I mean, my recommendation is Scott Salmon. If you guys want to use somebody else, I don't care. But to have him represent the borough.
There's a second motion on the floor?
There's nothing on the floor
There's
yet.
nothing on
I'm
the
saying
floor
that I need somebody to represent the borough because I can't, and they're still a party defendant. And they have to, they were named. So my recommendation is Scott Salmon, who's done this for the borough before in a limited capacity.
These lawsuits are not for any monetary damages. It's simply for
They're not for
ruling-
monetary
yeah,
damages.
a ruling on whether
The
they
ruling would be on whether there was a conflict, and if there is a conflict, what are the ramifications in terms of future prohibitions on
Right.
actions?
Matt, you weren't here last time about your associate ward. We asked him that very same question. But you
Yeah,
didn't
he
give an
probably did
answer.
not.
Yeah, I understand that. Are you open to giving an answer to that, or?
Yeah, so well, I'm not gonna answer the question that's now before the judge on the conflict issue. But right now, there is a court order temporarily prohibiting action with regard to hiring or firing out. So there's the current temporary, because it's preliminary injunction, the judge signed the initial order, and that's what, order show cause. So you have to go in April to show cause as to why there is or isn't a conflict.
Okay.
So.
I need a motion and a
I
second.
need a motion.
Yeah.
Okay, second. I need second.
Second.
Okay. Roll call,
Roll
please.
call.
Member, this is
Scott Salmon to represent the borough in defense of your action.
Member Kim?
Yes.
Member Simon?
Recuse.
Member recuse. Member Di Gregorio?
Yes.
Member Liang?
Yes.
Councilman, you asked about whether you could make a motion to have the borough have an attorney represent you. You could certainly make a motion, and there's nothing, if there were 3 votes, or I guess, well, if there was a majority, the 3 votes,
Well,
and
could they be voting on that?
well,
That's the
so
question.
yeah, so there's nothing in the ordinance that I see that would, require the borough to provide you with attorneys. And if there was a motion made, I don't think that the members are obligated to,
Well, the right
recuse.
thing for us, Matt, was
Yeah.
to recuse.
The-
They're the
the-
defendants.
The
Drop it to begin with.
well,
It's nonsense.
I think that, and listen, some judge may sort this out if, depending on, what you both do. Certainly, either one of you can make a motion in a second, right? That's just normal rules of
Right,
procedure.
procedure.
And one of 2 things would occur. Either members would recuse themselves, and there may be then a majority of those voting that would grant you an attorney, or members would not, would vote, and then there could be an issue about there. I think I don't know how a judge would rule, other than to say that I think in the first instance, whether you have merit or not in your lawsuit, obviously you chose to bring a lawsuit against sitting members of the council. The ordinance requires that both when you name the borough, the ordinance requires both the borough and the council members to be provided a defense. There is nothing in the ordinance that similarly requires that if one set of council members is bringing an action, that your entitled to an attorney like 217 does for defense. That, you know, so I.
Let me just ask you this.
Yeah.
If they're conflicted in one way, are they not conflicted in the other?
Well, the current, listen, I'm not saying that they're conflicted at all on the issue with Al, but the.
Well, the court has ruled that.
The court has indicated that there's a question about it, which is why we're now
That
in
he
this.
wasn't conflicted, but that they were.
Right, that's the judge issued that commentary in her one opinion that said it looks that
Yeah.
way, and that's why there's now the lawsuit pending. So,
I don't mean to cut you off, I apologize, but I'll test it, because we're gonna be before the judge anyway, so I'll make a motion that the borough supply attorneys for Councilwoman Simon and myself, that we can definitively have the best argument put forward and make this decision as to whether who is conflicted and who isn't conflicted, so I'll make the motion.
And I'll second it.
And we'll take the vote, see how.
And then we'll see.
Can we vote?
yeah, so the.
Yeah, we can vote. Okay, that very simple one is you just drop this lawsuit, then everybody will be happy.
I don't understand you, sir. What did you just say?
You just dropped this lawsuit, then we don't spend the money. Why you wanna spend the town money here? For what reason?
You're just getting counsel and we're gonna spend money for you.
Drop it, not cancel, drop it.
That's not the, listen.
This is the issue, drop it,
That's
so we
your
don't have
issue,
to go
not
like
my
this and like
issue.
this. We cannot.
Okay, let's take a vote. Okay, let's take a vote. Don't argue. Just take a vote. Okay.
Member Kim?
Let's see who's conflicted or not.
No, okay, conflicted, so
Member
what?
Kim?
So what? We need to vote.
Member Simon? I guess you. So who's going to be
Well, I'm
voting?
gonna
here,
vote
Matt?
yes.
Yes.
Member Di Gregorio?
No,
Member Begets?
No.
Okay.
Member Liang?
No.
Maybe it's a tie.
No.
That's good, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I have a motion to terminate the services of Mr. Dasty. I think that we have a very good team together right now with Cole Shots and with Mr. Wunsch.
Last time you did it, right? You gonna do motion again?
Give me 1 moment, please. I need to get sheets.
Last
Okay,
time
this
you
is
did
to,
it, and then you're gonna do.
Time, Mayor.
You can do it
gonna do it
without
every
any,
time.
no limitation?
He
Anytime?
can do it
Limitation,
at
yeah,
each
limitation.
meeting, he can't do it multiple
Each
times at the
meeting
same
they can
meeting,
do
but
that?
if,
You can do it every
Wow.
meeting.
he can do it every meeting.
Okay, do it, it's not gonna happen, so.
That
Okay.
was Luciano and Member Simon. Member Kim?
Yes.
Member Simon?
Yes.
Member Luciano?
Yes.
Member Di Gregorio?
no, for now, no.
Member Begets?
No fire and dust.
Member Liang?
No.
Maybe it's a tie.
That's fine,
No.
that's good.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn?
let's
Do we
go
have any
adjourn.
business?
No business, right?
No.
Okay. Okay,
Second, the motion to adjourn.
second motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, have a good night, everybody.
Good
Okay,
night.
thank you.